Coming live from the bricks where they wildin'. Big P, lil' mama couldn't stop smiling. Drippy, we be draped in design. They been weak, all up solid.
A crazy concept, but I started to get more understanding as I looked into it, right? So this topic came up because of what Jay Prince has going on with the death of Takeoff. And in that situation, you got a situation where Migos checked in with Mob Ties when before they came into the city, and they were supposed to be being protected while they were in the city and moving with these Mob Ties guys, Jay Prince and his people. And while in their protection, Takeoff was killed by a bullet. I want to say a stray bullet because from what I understand, he wasn't the target of that shooting, but that's allegedly. So that's not here nor there.
More than once.
Well, from what I understand, there was a shootout, but I'm not here to talk about that. Right. What we talking about is the check-in culture. So I took a deep dive into this and you know what other rappers are saying about this. I got a couple of quotes, starting with Trick Trick. You familiar with Trick Trick?
I've heard the name, but never heard the music or none of that. Don't even know.
Trick Trick is a rapper in Detroit, but Trick Trick is a OG in Detroit too. You know how some of these rappers is bigger where they from than worldwide. Trick Trick is one of those guys who's the man in Detroit, be making shit move for real. And Trick Trick calls Detroit the no-fly zone, where he expects big-time rappers, anybody that's ever claimed they a gangster, you know, people that's from the streets and of the streets, when they come into Detroit to make moves, he expects them to get in touch with him and, you know, to reach him. From the way he explains it, it's not hard to find him. It's not hard to get a number or a line on him because so many people in Detroit know how to get in touch with him or know how to get in touch with somebody else who know how to get in touch with him. His whole point was expecting people to call him when they come into Detroit, but he offers them, when you do so, he offers you protection. He believes that if you check in with him, nothing goes down against you because it would be looked at as a move against him. And apparently where he at, people wouldn't move against him. And so he offers you protection when you do so. But he also says that if you check in with him, he gonna make sure you have a good time while you in Detroit. So there's that in the air. I got another quote here from Snoop. Snoop talked about check-in culture some years ago. This is, I believe this was from like 2005, 2006, where he talks about rappers specifically coming into the city to make money. But not only rappers specifically, rappers who are known gangbangers that bang outside of California. He was real specific about those guys because he say the rules that people go by when they bang outside of California ain't the same rules they live by there. So if you banging out here and you come into Cali, you need to check in because the way you move, people of the same gang probably ain't gonna fuck with that, and you could have a problem. But also, you know, Snoop also offers protection if you do so. If you check in with him and he don't respect your gangster, he'll calmly tell you gotta tuck your flag when you here. And calmly tell you don't want to engage in that. Don't go to Roscoe's, you gonna want to go here. If you want to go to the club, my people got you. So that kind of shit. I got one more. Ice-T, people know him now from SVU and the multiple TV shows and movies he's done. But Ice-T is actually an OG rapper back in the Gap. People looked at him like the OG in California when it came to, you know what I'm saying, his turf. Right. And so Ice-T got a lot of respect in the streets too. When he talks about this topic, he says that he checks in whenever he go to a major city, and the way he does it, he finds the most powerful figure he knows in that city, whether that's the most powerful street figure, whether that's a rapper, a known drug dealer, a gangster, or just somebody that's from the streets and in the streets and powerful. He looks to those guys to check in. Basically, to sum it up, Ice-T was just saying in our quote, if you fortunate enough to have people there where you about to go, you should check in with them. You should give them a call. So with all this information, I want to know, what are your thoughts about check-in culture?
I think it's many avenues that goes into that check-in culture. Because I can understand what Snoop's saying about gangbanging and shit. If you're gangbanging, you're an active part of that street life and how you should move. But at the same time, I think as a superstar, now when you start talking about the lower level guys that's making it into the entertainment industry, they getting $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 a show, and they in that street life. All right, well, you may have to check in, because that's just what come with the life.
Yeah.
I can't imagine Lil Baby having to check in. I can't imagine, and this is why. He's huge. He can get real security to where you can't touch him. All his cars bulletproof. Everything is mapped out and moved in a certain. Bro, I was watching this thing the other day about the most most guarded people in the world. So like with the most security and the security mechanisms and shit. So they was talking about
that list, huh?
Nah, I don't think so. But they was talking about Putin. And anyway, Beyonce and them made it on that list. Beyonce and Jay-Z, they was like top. It was top 15. They was like number 4, some shit like that. And so when they pull up to the arena, like let's say they was going to the Staples Center or the Crypto Center, whatever it was.
Yeah.
When they go into that hole, they got like a 8-9 car Suburban convoy, blacked out windows. You can't see which person is in which car.
Right.
And then they shut down roadways so that there's no interferences when they coming through. So let's say you want to go to Hobby Airport leaving from here. They already got every road shut down on your route to Hobby Airport.
At the time they're making the trip.
Before you leave here.
Yeah.
So that the whole way there is no, you know what I'm saying? You think you could just walk up on Beyonce and them and do whatever?
Nah.
Like they damn near untouchable.
Yeah.
Come on, bro.
Nah, I get that. But
why the fuck I'm worried about the top gangster if I got legit security?
I'm not gonna lie to you. I can't see it the way you do. Although I can understand why you see it that way. I don't think so many of these people can still be touched.
Only because you got your
I think some guys
and your security guards and shit.
Well,
niggas who ain't real shooters.
I'm talking about even these top people that's to be talked about. There's been presidents that's been touched, and so when I think that
you can't tell me that.
Look, I think that you right in the sense to where it's well, you right in the sense to where, because I don't want to go there with it.
That's why I say
you right in the sense to where certain levels of superstars probably don't need to do that to the same extent. But I do think that it's always better to be safe. So I think that thinking nobody can touch you ain't really gonna be the mentality that do it. I think
not nobody, period. Just y'all niggas that's talking that check-in culture. Y'all niggas ain't even on my radar. I ain't worried about y'all. Now, if we talking about when you just mentioned that, I'm a conspiracy theorist. So when you mention shit like these presidents that been shot, shit like that, I think that was a hit created by our country. So yeah, they can be touched. They got touched by the niggas that can't be touched, type shit. But when we talking about motherfucking black youngster going somewhere, Pop Smoke going somewhere, woo woo.
I don't want to ignore. I don't want to ignore that some of these, it's not just street level or just bullshit gangsters that might come for you. If you worth millions, it might be niggas that's organized. It might be a whole set of Crips or a whole set of GDs that show up. You ain't got enough security for.
But we ain't never seen it happen.
Yeah, well, you ain't gonna see it happen.
No, not visually.
Not that it hasn't happened though. In the past,
people of that caliber getting taken out. We have never seen it happen.
No, you're right. You're right. And you might be right.
Biggie and Tupac will be the biggest, and it's a huge debate that they were both set up by inside parties. That's what I'm saying.
Right.
No regular niggas was like, "Oh, Biggie ain't check in with me. We about to go smoke his ass."
Yeah.
It wasn't no shit like that we know of. Biggie and Tupac were the biggest. Other than that, these niggas that we talk about that ain't checking in ain't shit niggas compared to stardom.
Yeah, I'm not here to argue that point. I'm here to talk about the stardom. The ones that are at the top, I don't think, check-in culture ain't for like niggas like us. Check-in culture is for the ones who talk like this and are showing up somewhere else where other guys talk like this and feel like this they turf. So it's a urban level of bullshit to it.
But those niggas that talk like what you talk about, who we will be addressing, their friends are their security.
Yeah, they're not.
So yeah, they can be touched.
But my thing is that I want to eventually get off of those people that you talking about and talk about these top level people, because that's what I'm talking about.
I don't think they have to be. That's what I'm saying. Those are the only people I think gotta check in.
I don't think that they have to do it to the same extent
at all.
But I do think that it might be safer if you going to Chicago. It might be safer to hit up somebody you know in Chicago rather than if you come 8 cars deep. I don't know how many people in them cars, but what happens if a whole set of GDs pull up on you and, hey, this is our turf.
If you got real security, them AGDs don't mean
What
shit.
if they don't come for you? What if they stand in front of the door of the club and you just can't make no money because they there for everybody else? Your security don't leave to go protect the people standing in front of the club.
You got your security don't. What you mean, to let people in?
Yeah, that be.
Bro, that's what you got police for. When they be in places like this, you best believe that they got the maximum amount of force at these kind of events, especially when it's somebody that's talking about. See, this shit is all an illusion, bro. We got to be realistic. These big ass rappers is not checking in, bro.
That's what I think that you not being. I think you not being realistic when you say that, in a sense to where you right that they don't have the same pressure that others do, but the idea that they don't need to because ain't nothing gonna happen. I don't think that's the right mind frame to go to. I think there's a chance.
If you doing it right. Now, like I said, that's why I keep bringing up. If you Lil Baby level, Dirk level, who is huge superstars, but all Dirk shooters, all Dirk security is his homies, niggas that ain't never been real trained shooters, niggas that barely got their gun license and shit like that, then of course you able to get touched. You ain't moving right. If Dirk go get the president's, the goddamn Secret Service to guard him in the same way that Beyonce do, or your Drake or your Kanye West, then Dirk ain't got to check in nowhere. But the thing is, Dirk ain't doing that.
I think that lowers the chances, but that don't mean you can't be touched. But a guy like, if we talking about Dirk, this is a guy who he got problems with some people. You think Dirk not checking in? If Dirk got
but
issues
Dirk ain't
with
moving, like I say,
Dirk got known issues with NBA YoungBoy. So if Dirk got a show to do on that side of Louisiana, you think he ain't gonna call nobody?
You know why he is? Because he's not doing what I said he should be doing. Dirk is gonna check in because some of his homies are the niggas from some of his security are the niggas from around the way.
But
if his security was legit, if he had real protection, the same protection that protects the Jay-Z's and the Drakes that we say can't be touched, then Dirk will be one of those guys that can't be touched.
I think
you will never hear a story about Drake getting gunned down. You will never hear a story about Jay-Z getting gunned down or being pressed. You will never hear, maybe Kanye, because he's crazy and he try to walk around without security.
Being pressed last week. When I was actually when I was looking at the video that brought this topic up, it was actually Jay Prince speaking on the radio podcast where he talks about a time where Jay-Z came to Houston and wasn't allowed to do his shows because he pressed him. And I don't know how true it was or not.
That may be 100% true. But what I'll give you the caveat for that. That may be 100% true and he ain't lie about it. But what he also didn't tell you was this was 30 years ago when Jay-Z wasn't Jay-Z of today.
Big steppers, yeah, we looking like giants. Trendsetter, high fashion.